like Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I.
Alright YouTube, what's going on? So it's been kind of like 3 or 4 months overdue now, but I've been wanting to do a 1-year owner's review on my 2001 NB Mazda MIATA. Now, there's a lot of things I love and hate about this car. I mean, I don't really particularly hate anything, but it's mostly loving. You know, it's a great car, but we're gonna go through some things like things that I don't like about the car, which there's one thing that I really dislike, and you guys are gonna find out in a little bit. And there's a million things that I love about this car. It took me 10 seconds to name off everything I love about this car, and it took me a few days to list things that I don't like about this car. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the biggest flaw that I have with this Miata, and most Miatas that I know personally, and people that own them also have this problem, is how rusty the exhaust gets. Now, this is a car that is 90% rust free. The only rust that I actually genuinely have is on my exhaust and some of my suspension components, like the upper and lower control arms, and that's just surface rust. It's not even that bad. So having a car like this have an exhaust that's literally rotted to pieces. You know, I have an axle back exhaust that I'll show you guys in a couple minutes, but it's an axle back exhaust by Manzo, and the connections to the mid pipe to the axle back actually don't work. There's been a constant exhaust leak since I've even gotten the thing, and I've had the exhaust for probably about a year now, so that's why I'm upgrading to a new exhaust. And I'm gonna have to take the mid pipe off the headers, and the header bolts look just like this one did, and I don't really want there to be an exhaust leak in the back, so I'm probably gonna have to replace the headers, which I really don't want to do. And if you guys know anything about cars, headers and a full exhaust system isn't cheap unless you cheap out, but that's not me. So I'm gonna be dishing out about $1,000 if I really have to replace the headers also. So I'm gonna hope for the best, and hopefully I don't have to do that, and we'll probably just go from there. Now, the second one also kind of ties into what I just said with the rusty exhaust. Is I have an insane exhaust leak on my car, and having that exhaust leak actually drives me insane. You know why? It's because my car sounds good on the inside, but then I let my friends drive it, or I get like a sound clip of it on the camera, and you can hear the exhaust leak more than you can hear the actual exhaust coming out. Now, like I was just previously stating, I'm going to be fixing that with a mid pipe and possibly a header, but I don't really want to do that because I'm already doing a cat delete. I really don't want to do headers that are super loud, but I do want UEL headers, which is unequal length headers, which will sound really cool in this car, especially with the ISR exhaust that I'm trying to pick up. But that's further down the road. ISR exhaust is also the next upgrade. If you guys want to tune into the channel a little bit more, hit the subscribe button. Check out my other videos if you want on this build. But yeah, third thing on the list. The third thing on the list also has to do with the exhaust, and it is how loud it is in the actual cabin of the car or inside the car driving. Now, it's super loud and super drony and obnoxious with just an axle back exhaust, and soon to be, I'm going to be doing a cat delete and a full mid pipe, which is going to be extremely loud on the outside of the car as well as on the inside. Now, the inside is just not so insulated. It's just a soft top. I don't have a hard top for this car just yet. I'm trying to look for one. But say I'm driving around 300 to 4,500 RPMs. The axle back is super loud, and with the ISR exhaust, I'm afraid it's going to be even louder. But if you ever drive like a Mustang GT, you can have an extremely loud, like a stupid loud exhaust, and you're never going to hear it. Like, I used to drive a Ford Focus around with I pretty much cut every resonator and exhaust muffler off of it and just did a straight pipe from there. Had stock headers and a catalytic converter still, but I didn't even hear the exhaust. I heard my intake way over the exhaust, but on the outside of the car, you could actually genuinely hear the exhaust, and it actually made noise. So that's just a problem that I have with the Miatas, because they all are coupes. The exhaust is very close to the cabin, and on top of that, it's uninsulated. Okay, so the next thing on the list for things that I dislike about the car over a year is going to be the cup holders. And that's kind of obvious, because if you watch any other review like this, everybody's going to kind of talk about the cup holders and where they are. Now, I drive an NB Miata, so my cup holders are kind of in a good position. They're kind of like mine have these little flaps that go down. They're super out of the way when you want them to be. But say you have a cup, right? I don't have one on me, but if you have a cup in this one, it's going to be fine. It's not going to go anywhere. It holds it in, unlike the NAs. It actually functions, but it's still in a bad place. Now, I prefer to have them there if both of my rear seat spots are taken up, which would be these little holes right here that actually, they'll hold your drink much better than any cup holder if it has a lid. So I would recommend using that. Now, if you have something in here, which is my change, this is my changed cup holder, because I don't want people putting anything here and it messes with my shifting. Because say you have a bottle here, right? It goes up to here. You have to shift like this. I don't want to be shifting like this while I'm driving. All right, you already feel a little weird enough driving a Miata. Now you're gonna feel even weirder driving, shifting like this. So I don't want to do that. I'm sure you don't want to do that. I'm sure nobody wants to do that. So that's another flaw in this car that I kind of dislike, but I just use the rear seats. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so another one is also in the interior, and it has to do with shifting. Now, you could say this is the transmission, but I don't really know what it is. But, you know, you ever see, like, if you watch my other video on the likewise shift knob, I had this as Shizurka adapter, and what that did was it brought my shifter, like, up to here. And what that does is it makes it feel really weird when you're shifting. Like, say you're like shifting up here already, so you're gonna be shifting, and it like makes like a little clink sound, and it makes the gears like grind a little bit. Maybe it's the synchros, maybe it's the transmission, I'm not sure. But long shift knobs do not work. I think they look cool. I spent $80 on an adapter, and I don't even like using it because it just feels weird. So I'm saving it for another car if I get one in the near future, or I might just sell it. I'm not sure. But long shift knobs don't work. Another thing. Inside the cabin. You're inside the cabin, and when you like stop at a stoplight, you might smell like coolant or like an oily smell or like some other type of smell. All my liquids are good. I don't burn any liquids. I have a very small oil leak, but it's not even that bad, and it's not burning oil, so it doesn't make sense why I smell it. And my coolant, everything's just good, right? I don't have any leaks, but every time I stop at a stoplight or get out of my car, you just smell some weird smells. It's just a Miata thing. I haven't seen a single Miata that doesn't have a weird smell. If you guys own a Miata and you don't have any weird smells, please let me know, because that might be kind of concerning. But moving on, if you guys don't know, the MB Miata has like a Tupperware kit, and just the front lip alone goes for $600. The rear side skirts are like $250, plus you got to get them paint matched if you don't get them in the proper color. They're all from Mazda. And also they have like little rear side skirts and hard tops. All the OEM body kit prices or body like pieces are super expensive. I don't know why. They're good quality. I'm not complaining, but they're extremely expensive, and I'm trying to do some stuff to my car, and you know, you'd think of Miata's cheap, but all the good stuff's really not that cheap. But that's kind of cars in general. So not a big deal, but something I definitely dislike. So another thing I want to talk about with this car. My wheels are either severely unbalanced, or when I lowered the car, it did something to it. And now my car, everything over 75 miles an hour and over, I'm shaking, I'm vibrating. It's like a back massage chair. All my friends make jokes about it. It makes me uncomfortable. But that's a problem I have with my car. I don't know if there's any issues lowering it. I haven't seen anything, but if you guys own a Miata, it's lowered and it does the same thing. It just shakes on the highway. Let me know. It's like a Jeep death wobble. It scares me, and I'm super uncomfortable. I'm kidding. But it's either that or my wheels are super unbalanced, and I'm probably gonna have to go get them checked out or something. Maybe get them rebalanced, because the tire shop that I got them at is super sketch. But other than that, is on the same topic of finding wheels, or on the same topic of wheels, it's hard to find nice wheels for this car. You know, you can get 15s and be like every other Miata owner, but I want to be on 16s with some decent sidewall right now. That's just what I'm looking for. That's what I'm into. And finding 4x100 16-inch wheels that aren't reps are like super hard to have. It's super hard to find, and if they aren't reps, they're super expensive. I found a pair of wheels that I'm probably going to be getting. I'm super excited for that, because they're not even that expensive. They're like $1,200 all said and done. But I don't want to spend $3,000 on a set of wheels for my daily right now. So finding wheels, not that fun. Okay, now on the topic of the car itself, I love this car. You know, I've had this thing for a year. I've dailied it through the snow, everything, going to work with it, going to construction, doing like bringing tools in this car. I bring hammers and sawzalls and other things in this car. The car's still in good condition. I don't treat it badly. It works, you know. Things could be better, like trunk space and all that, but you don't buy a Miata for trunk space and stuff, or to go to construction jobs. So I guess that's kind of my fault, but regardless, one thing I love about the car, the experience, the whole experience driving it, and experience as in every time it rains, it's rear-wheel drive. So guess what? You can slide a corner if you want. You can go do skids in a parking lot if you want. If you guys want to see some skids, check out my Instagram at Donnie_LDG. I put some fat skids on there. No, I'm not a professional drifter, but just go check it out. The handling is insane. It has an insanely good feel around corners. I'm pretty decently low, and I do scrape a little bit with these sidewalls because they're a little big and they rub on my fender to bumper supports, but it's not a big deal. It handles great. I'm on function form Type 2 coilovers with the dampening all the way up, so it's a stiff ride. Feels nice, not too harsh. And the looks of this car. I'll throw in a cinematic right after this, after I'm done talking about the car, but this car looks so good. I like it more than the NA. I like everything about it more than the NA except for the pop-ups. I like the pop-ups. I think it looks cool, but this car looks better in my opinion. I really enjoy this car. And now that's the sound. I'm somebody that's into a little bit of rasp. I don't like the sound of Hondas because the rasp doesn't sound good, but the rasp of this car, especially with a quality exhaust, it sounds good. It sounds healthy. It sounds really pleasing to me. I like little four bangers. You might not. You might like V8s, but that's not me. I like the little bit of rasp and the little bit of I like this car. I like the way it sounds. It sounds extremely good in my opinion. Now the next thing is the short throw shifter from stock. Now the MIATA comes with, I was talking about the long shifters before, but if I have just my likewise Daytona on there, it feels great. It's a short notchy throw shifter. It feels good. The transmission is amazing. Also on top of transmission, the tranny gets hot in this rear wheel drive car. It's kind of like an SUK, and it's free heat. You don't even have to have your heat on. After a little bit of driving, your shift knob's warm in the winter. It just feels great. So you could ride it in the winter if you want. All right guys, now that's gonna conclude this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. If you guys disliked it, please leave a dislike and tell me why in the comments. If you guys want to follow this build by any chance, see me get off these reps, get a little lower, do some fun stuff in the winter with it, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are into that kind of stuff, and check out my Instagram if you guys want to see those skids. But in conclusion, I love this car. Everything about it I enjoy. You know, I don't have a leaky soft top. I have the glass window. Like, it's an amazing car. I absolutely love this car. It's in good condition, low mileage. I got it for a pretty decent price, and they're doing nothing but going up in price now. So if you guys are looking for an ND, I would pick one up now because mine is about $1,500 more than I paid for it right now, and I'm not planning on selling it, honestly. I absolutely love this car to death for multiple reasons, and yeah, so I'm gonna throw these cinematics in here for you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, dislike if you disliked it, but tell me why in the comments, please. I'll see you guys in the next video if you guys want to follow up with the build, so take it easy.